Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Hopefully, I don't drop, but the title says it all, right? Talk, work, freestyle, or however I titled it. So, yes, Mr. Z is going to be doing things in the background. Might be a little noisy. The important part is that I keep a good connection and that you guys can hear me. But I will not be able to look at comments for a couple minutes at a time, a few minutes at a time. So, you know. Anyway, okay. I wanted to first speak about, but we're gonna hit on a couple of things today. Number one, what Dr. Thunder, and shout out to Dr. Thunder, and I promise y'all I'm not gonna continue to review people's review of something, but what Dr. Thunder was speaking about yesterday with Ebony K. Well, yesterday morning with Ebony K. Williams and Melissa Ford and those other women on that channel, Listen to Black Women, and what they were speaking about when it comes to relationships. And what was glaring to me is the attitude demeanor part. These are, as Ebony K. Williams said, these are for average to attractive looking women, light skin, or the quote unquote preference. And yeah, and all of these women were single, right? And what was glaring to me is that as Ebony spoke, and as Melissa Ford spoke, and as the other two, the one that got into it with Michael B. Jordan some months ago last year, and the other young lady that was on the far left on your screen, she kind of gave me Afro-Latina vibes or Latina vibes, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so no one ever, all four of the women, of course, the glaring obvious that men would ask, particularly black men, about their attitude, their demeanor, the way they view men, black men in specific. None of those women ever questioned whether one of the reasons why they were single is because they might be insufferable a-holes, or just difficult to love, or just do too much, right? So that never crossed their minds, of course not. And as Ebony made the comment towards the very end about how she would be remiss if she did not mention how the women on that panel were the quote-unquote preference, lighter skin, under a size 10 black women, and how would the darker skinned black women be faring if even the quote-unquote preferences are single right now? And what was glaring to me is that, yeah, have you ever considered, and Ebony, you said it yourself, you said it to Yana Van Zandt, how, you're pretty much always deliberating, right? And you're on dates and people are telling you to put the gavel down. So, yeah, I mean, like, in one breath, y'all say why y'all are single, but you're not really taking in that you're saying it. And then you'll complain about being single, and your complaint about being single, let's be very clear, is really black men are not on our level. Black men are not stepping up. Which is interesting because Ebony did bring up that she, the interracial aspect of it all. And so she confirmed to us what we always knew a lot of black women are on, which is when they would badger her in the comments, which is exactly what they did or do to Amanda Seales, which is like, well, you need to date out. Maybe you need to expand your options. You need to date out. And for many of them that haven't really followed Ebony K. Williams, they don't realize that she already did that, right? To a very wealthy ass white man, right? So and that didn't work out. So yeah, whether she was a side chick or not or whatever, however that went, but it did not work out. So yeah, and so Ebony, spoke on that. Melissa Ford, and that was her way of pretty much shutting down Melissa Ford with the talk of go get your white man. Melissa Ford, you really don't want to play those games, right? Melissa Ford, Miss Ford, do you really want to talk about that so we can start talking about them rumors about you? Huh? It's real interesting how they do the character assassination of black men in these weird backwards ass ways. Well, black men are defective, so maybe we just need to date out to non-black men, right? Miss Melissa Ford, Miss Video Vixen, I know you ain't talking. I know you ain't talking. Don't let me call Cameron. I know you ain't talking, right? One thing you gotta know black women are gonna do when it comes to a conversation about black men. They're gonna remind you that you ain't white. They're gonna remind you that you something about you is defective because once again you're not a white man. And whatever way they decide to do it, they're gonna do it though. And it was interesting watching Ebony K. Williams of all people say, "Yeah, about that. Yeah, I'm around the whites, and I've dated some of them. Let's be honest, what she really means. But I've dated some of them. I've been around the whites. Yeah, it ain't what you think it is, right? So yeah, that was interesting, um, to say the least. Yeah, what's going on, Mr. Shook to you? Okay, so I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. I'm not sure. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. Hopefully, I'm not borging. I only got one comment in the comment section from Mr. Shook to you. So I'm guessing that you guys can hear me well. But yeah, so it was that was a interesting conversation. And the conversation about we have to be honest too. Ebony K. Williams and Melissa Ford are like the elite when it comes to income, particular pun, income, yeah, lifestyle to a certain extent, right? And what ends up happening when women like Ebony K. Williams and Melissa Ford speak, um, is that to your average black woman takes on that worldview, right? Takes on that kind of angst about not meeting a man on their quote unquote level, which is, fascinating because once again, we know that men earn more than women. We know that black men earn more than black women. And yet, the idea, and this lets you know how pervasive the idea that black men are losers and they're underperforming is that even though factually and statistically, black men earn more than black women and have always earned more than black women, you still have within the black community. I said this the other day. Within the black community, this idea that black women are dating down or sacrificing wealth when they don't end up with black. I mean, when they do end up with black men. And to those women, I say, date out, date out. Hopefully, marry out, right? But let's be very clear. Do what you want to do for whatever reasons you want to do it. But let's be very clear. Factually, statistically, black men earn more than black women. Point blank. Period. Right? And so listening to Ebony K. Williams and like I said the other day with the video, listening to all these other talking heads in the black community speak as if black men are not pulling their weight and black women have to carry them across the finish line or something like that. Black men earn more than black women, right? And so listening to Ebony speak and listening to Melissa Ford speak and the other two ladies speak, and as Ebony said, as the quote unquote preferences of black men, well, why don't y'all got a white man? But anyway, as the preferences of black men, and that the fact that they're single, yeah, because y'all, many of you are insufferable, and you lack. And what's crazy is, I would say that the most introspective person on that panel is probably Ebony K. Williams, and that's frightening. Imagine that, black men. The most introspective person in the room is Ebony K. Williams. Oh, right. What type of community do you have when the most introspective person in a room is Ebony K. Williams of all people? The person that's going to probably keep it the realest in that room is once again Ebony K. Williams. That's frightening. That's frightening. and they wonder why they're single. Y'all let Ebony K. Williams be the most introspective, probably most honest person in the room, right? And you wonder why you're single. Yeah, that's it. Your high bar is Ebony K. Williams, right? Are you not embarrassed? Right? So that's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane, right? So there's that. I haven't listened to the songs yet. I have to listen to them. The Nicki Minaj versus Meg Thee Stallion thing, yawn. And I'm listening to Angry Man's review, right? So I'm about 40% into Angry Man's review of the two things, and the Just Hilarious thing, and what he said with the Breakfast Club and Just Hilarious, and essentially Angry Man reminding us that we live in a matriarchy within the black community. And yeah, right? Like, duh, right? Shout out to Angry Man, but I'm almost certain that that's what's going to be the conclusion. But let me let that play out a little bit longer. But right, and yeah. So there's that. Um, what else is new? I did not watch the Jason Black stream last night. Well, I listened to it a little bit while he was going over home prices and whatnot, and yeah, it don't look like you got into anything. And he was, I think it was the Atlanta region. It don't look like you get into anything worth talking about until you get into the 200s. But of course, anyway, welcome to the new horrific normal, right? Where a house worth a damn is at least 250 ish. Anything under that, kill yourself. Well, right. So there's that. Um, what else did I want to speak about? Oh, there was something else. Let's just you don't lose your train of thought. So yeah, continue with the Ebony K. Williams and the listen to black women thing. So this is a real issue in the black community, isn't it? Right? So I've said it, and this is why, for those of you that wonder why Mr. Z speaks so much about black man, black women relationships, particularly as a leftist, it's because I realize that that's at the foundation of just about all of our issues. Yes, white hegemonic rule, and sabotage and neo-colonial concepts of white neo-colonial concepts that black people play with that are detrimental to us as an oppressed class of group of people, um, of course. But within community, right, the black man black woman relationship or lack thereof is a major issue, and you saw that exploded with the Rhoda situation, right? Because still to this day, you still have black men and black women still cop and pleas for Rhoda, and that lets you know that. And as Van Jones said in his conversation with Olay to one of the young ladies that was on the panel with him, you're playing for your team, and she pretended like she didn't understand what he was saying when he said that, and it was very clear. He was very clear. You cannot see outside of this. You cannot see outside of no, fuck that. I'm riding with, excuse me. Yeah, we are using profanity this morning. Yeah, fuck that. I'm riding over here with these people. I don't care, right? And that's what it is, and that's all it is. And that's okay, right? We expect it. We understand, right? As black men, we understand how these people play the game. But yeah. So at the foundation of many of our issues is the issue between black men and black women, and the number of black women who, some 60 years after the repeal of many Jim Crow laws on paper, once again, I always like to stress the on paper part because it doesn't mean that overnight things changed. There's a lot to say about that. But yeah, 60 years after some of the repeal of some of these Jim Crow laws, black women want you to make them white women, upper middle class white women, of course. Something else that Mr. Z stresses a lot. Right. So, yeah, and that would explain Ebony K. Williams' worldview and Melissa Ford and the other two on the panel. Yeah, super single, right? This also goes to what we know that Morgan Stanley, the Morgan Stanley report that we've been reciting for the past what? How many years has it been since that report was published? Was it 2017 or 2018? About how some 40 some odd percent of women, and that was women in general, it wasn't even specifically black women, are going to be single, right? Single and childless, if I'm not mistaken, between 2018 and 2030. Ebony K. Williams, you fall in there. Melissa Ford, you fall in there, and a whole host of other women fall in there, right? I can tie that to Jess Hilarious, and all these other people, right? Their success, and even the idea that black women are super successful, even for those of them that in their own individual lives aren't, has paralyzed them when it comes to relationships with men, because the good, well-meaning folks that are feminists, yeah, right, um, didn't calculate or did calculate and pretend like they didn't, that women are still going to try to practice hypergamy even when they have it, even when they got the money, right? Even when they have it, hundreds of thousands. I remember yesterday listening to Dr. Thunder speak about this, right? Like if you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and then speaking about Ebony K. Williams, if you're making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, why do you demand that your man makes more? And it's a status thing, right? It's that simple, right? In the black community in particular, it's not the woman that's the reflection of the man, it's the man that's the reflection of the woman, right? And if I'm a high six-figure earning woman, or maybe even seven-figure earning woman, then I need chisel chin, tall, whether I have a thing for skin tone, so chisel chin, tall, light skin or dark skin, right? Super successful, attractive man, right? Because I need him to be a representation of my success. How am I supposed to show off if I don't got the basketball playing tall, you know, diesel brother? And well, now Ebony K. Williams is a bit different. Once again, this is frightening because she's the most honest. Um, if y'all watch that excuse me, that interview with Torre, she said it very clearly. She needs a man that is the man when he walks in the room. Whatever industry it is, he got to be the man, right? And I think that is perfect because what she's saying is what a lot of women feel and think, right? And that is why they're single. It's not about settling, right? It's not about settling. You see the man as a status symbol, right? Which is okay. But let's be very clear. That does not mean black men are not outpacing black women, even right now, even today. What it does mean, though, is that many women have this, once again, assessment of men, a very neoliberal assessment of men. And for them, the man has to be, a man has to be the man in whatever space he's in. It's not about love. It's not about any of that. It's about status, right? Sometimes status even over money, right? And I think we don't take that into account enough when we have these conversations outside of course, the black manosphere, right? Give me a second, y'all. I'm gonna have to walk in. Give me a second. Oh boy, come on, almost there. Yep, I need this not to flip out while I'm driving. Okay, there we go. All right, yeah. So, and hopefully you guys can still hear me. I'm gonna check the comments in a minute to make sure you guys still can. Am I gonna close this yet? No, I'm not. Okay, yeah, let's leave that open because I'm gonna put more stuff in here. Yeah. So yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're in the situation we're in. There's more important things that we could be talking about, but we're not, right? Because of this constant, how am I going to phrase that? This constant inept black man idea that rolls around in the black community that has so permeated the black community that even if black men are doing better than black women, which they are, we still have the idea that they are the problem, right? Shout out to who posted that clip? Was it Gender Warlord? Who posted the clip of the black man? I ain't even gonna describe how that brother was speaking. I ain't even gonna do it too easy. The brother that said, you know, black men can't even die right, right? You know, and this is how these people show their gender, and I said it the right way, their gender solidarity with black women by insulting black men, even in death. You gotta love it. Couch it as constructive criticism, but insult them, even in death, and say that they can't even die right. Hey, black people got so damn comfortable with like Nazi ass language, with like Ku Klux Klan language, right? But you got black men telling other black men, right, that you can't even die right. You so want to be an ally to these supposed put upon black women that are put upon by black men that look like you. That your way of showing that you're an ally of these black women is by telling black men that they can't even die right. By telling other black men that they can't even die right. And you are only one situation away from a black woman expressing that same type of sentiment about you. The same black women that you kiss in their ass by saying something like this. You gotta love it. I need to show the sisters that I'm an ally of them. What can I do? Ooh, let me tell other black men that they can't even die right? Because they don't have life insurance. Oh, wait a minute, we're black. So if black people's and if people in America, oftentimes their life insurance is directly correlated with their job. Oh, wait a minute, and black people are quick to get fired. What they say? Black people last hired, first fired, last hired, and yet you have a black man, right, who obviously isn't a student of history, who took one too many feminist classes, turn around and telling you black men can't even die right. Right? Don't you have to pay for life insurance? Uh-oh. Right? Are you only one pissed off or angry boss away from losing your job? Okay, fine. You didn't get your life insurance from your job. Half of these life insurance policies are how many dollars a month? Yeah, right. $20 a month, $15 a month, $25 a month, $30 a month. Right? That's half a tank of gas. Uh-oh. Lose your job. Let's see if that $30 is not doesn't feel like $300. You just don't know what you're talking about. But you tried to be an ally to black women, so you insulted black men. And you couched it as constructive criticism. Okay, yeah, that's it. You imagine. You Negroes can't even die right. Oh, pathetic. Right? That's what allyship looks like. That's what allyship looks like. That's crazy. I ain't even gonna say it, Indigo. I'm not even gonna read it out loud. Uh oh. Look, I accidentally highlighted this. Oops. Right? I'm not even gonna say it out loud. But yeah, yeah, I know, I remember. No, but he wasn't. He's not the only one that expressed that. A black woman expressed that on Twitter also, or Twitter X also. He's not the only one. I've heard that a couple of times. Black men can't even die right. Right? Yeah, I ain't even gonna. Right? But now I also want to going back because I'm gonna keep on coming back to this because I really wanted to do my review of this also, and shout out to Dr. Thunder. Going back to the listen to black women and Ebony K. Williams. So a part that I forgot to mention is when Ebony K. Williams was speaking and she was being honest. So I got to give her this about the trade off between time and money, right? And what she was emphasizing to other women is that you can't want your man to be all up in your face while he's trying to go get the bag, while he's trying to make this money. And she said she would rather the money than the love, essentially. And I'm like, yeah, Ebony, because you are that person. That's who you are. We understand. We understand that you like like money and power makes your johnny wet, which you could argue is a woman thing in general. Of course, I got kicked out of my own stream. Of course, John Jones giving me the look. Trail Everglade Wireless, low key darkness, no sound. Z hit a dead spot. Getting breakfast. No, I ate breakfast early already. Mute Z. Oh, this sucks. Indigo said Gator, Gator with the reception bars. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me now. And my apologies, y'all. That is why my title is what it is. I gave y'all the warning, right? Um, and I don't even want to say what I said anymore. That was like a spur of the moment type of thought. Oh, okay, that sucks. Yeah, that damn it. And it just like that. That just happened, right? Ooh, I'm not gonna make that green, and this guy is crossing. Oh boy, sir. Thank you. You cost me the ability to cross all, and you did too. All right. Now I'm just gonna. You know what? Yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles. I'm just gonna stay here until this super long stream of cars passes. Okay. Yeah. What else did I want to speak about? There was something else that I saw. Wait a minute. What else did I watch or did I see? Oh yeah, the Corey Holcomb thing. So everybody's speaking about the Corey Holcomb and his daughter thing. So yeah. So last time I was keeping up with Corey Holcomb on that level, I remember his son was staying with him for a little bit. So for those of you that don't know, Corey Holcomb officially has 3 children. Oh wait, two and a possible. I think he said 2 and a possible. Or was it 3 and a possible? 2 and a possible, right? 2 and a possible, and which is his oldest daughter and his son. Well, his oldest daughter, and then his son, who is from a relationship that he had with, I think, one of the baby moms that he's actually somewhat close, or at least closer to, and then the daughter that was from a woman I guess he just was dealing with at the time, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so everyone's going in on Corey, or at least everyone's critiquing what Corey said about. Oh, it's 2 and a possible. Yeah, it's 2 and a possible. Thank you. Yeah, 2 and a possible. So yeah. So and then and he said that on an interview because the possible is a son that he could have with one of the a lady that he used to work with that was his manager. I want to say, did he sit at Burger King or was it KFC or something like that? And did he said that on an interview with either Big Boy? Did he say that with Big Boy? I can't remember what interview he said that on an interview. He said it more than once, but the one that stands out to me the most is on an interview, and I want to say it's with the brother out of California. I want to say that was the interview where he said 2 and a possible, and that stuck out to me the most because he said it more than once. But anyway, yeah. So Corey is speaking about his daughter and like the trials and tribulations of the situation with his daughter from the mother that he doesn't necessarily have the best relationship with. I'll just put it that way. I'll put it lightly in that way. So yeah, and he was calling all type of B words and whatever. That's his daughter, so I won't repeat that. But yeah, and like essentially, she thinking that she could outsmart her father and try to outsmart him and try to saying that that she would bring him to Tasha K, or she would tell Tasha K about, I guess, certain family secrets and whatnot, and he pretty much tell her like, listen, Tasha K know better. Like, Tasha K, I would destroy you and Tasha K. And that is the most Corey Holcomb ass line if I ever did hear one. Right? And but yeah, so that I'm not a parent, but I've had back and forth with my dad, about his role in my life and whatnot. I can agree with Corey Holcomb about but I haven't been disrespectful. Like I would never tell my dad, "Oh, I'm gonna go, report you to some type of pop culture news thing or whatever." And people brought up the Brian McKnight situation, which I understand. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I do think parents owe children for the rest of their life. I'm never gonna tell my child that though. So y'all never tell my child that. If I ever have kids. I do think that. I do think that. But with that, I don't know about threatening your parents. Who does that? Yeah, excuse me. I don't know about threatening your parents. Yeah, that's smart. Not smart. Not smart. Right? And I do think when you become an adult, you do choose your quote unquote family, right? And just because you and a person are blood relatives does not mean they're family the way we think about family, right? I do think that there are people that come into your life who are not blood relatives to you that are more family than family, right? And listening to Corey speak about this and then seeing certain brothers and reading through the comments, um, I want to say I read through the comments for Anton, and a number of brothers were saying like, "Yo, I've been in this. Like, y'all don't understand." Like, and what even one of the brothers said something like being disrespected by his children, and he was a single father, which is insane, right? Absolutely insane. So yeah, I don't know about like disrespecting your and you see what I'm saying? Like better you said, man, you gotta have some brass balls to do that. My pop still got me shook. And better you ain't no little dude. Right? Like yeah, threatening your pops or your moms, like yeah, you know. And for me, especially, like I think of, especially after a certain age, because you never know. Like you can have this type of contentious conversation. Let's call it thing, a straight up argument, and then like when your parents pass a certain age, ain't nothing guaranteed. It's never guaranteed actually, but when your parents pass a certain age, every day is a lottery, right? And I'm not saying that Corey is at that age per se, but kind of. Corey's a mid 50-year-old black man. Every day is a gamble, right? And yeah. And it made a lot of people cringe because he was, calling his daughter all type of B word and whatever. And so that I don't know about. I can understand the anger and whatever. I don't know about that. Um, with that said, he did say something about like, essentially, I'm going to paraphrase, where like, go get counseling and come back to me afterward. Oh yeah, good point. Good point. Low key darkness says, look at Dr. Dre and his daughter. Yeah, and apparently she just tried to keep on milking him for money. And she was living out her car apparently, and she had a bunch of kids from like I don't know if it was from different dudes, and like yeah, like no man, no, absolutely not. And there's a number. Was it? I remember Jeezy and Sway years ago. Jeezy had an interview with Sway, and both of them said they had to go off on their kids. Sway said that I think about his daughter, and I think Jeezy said that about his son, the oldest, right? Like they all and you hear this from sir. I think black celebrity men are more like black celebrities in general, right? Because even some of the black celebrity women, I remember who was it? Was it what's the sister name? Oh, her face is right there. Neo soul singer Angie Stone. Was it Angie Stone? I want to say it was Angie Stone who got into an argument, who had to like damn near fist fight her daughter. Was it Angie Stone? I want to say it was Angie Stone. One of them had to suck their daughter up, right? Him or ass up. I want to say it was, but yeah, I would say black celebrities are far more likely to tell you, yeah, I don't have to handle my adult children, right? Whether it's cut them off financially until they get their mind right, or hem them up, or whatever, right? So yeah, so you have the white celebrities don't be really exposing their situation, but they be going through it too. We find out when we find out when the tabloids catch them. If the tabloid get to your kid before you do, yeah, it's gonna be in there. If TMZ get to your kid before you do, yeah, it's in there. But yeah, the white celebrities and the Latino ones too. The people that got their stuff the most under wraps are of course the Asians, right? And I don't think that's gonna last as they become more and more Americanized. I don't think that's gonna last. Plus, according to my fellow black people out of California, Yeah, those Asians, those Chinese in particular, immigrants that's coming to America to go to school with daddy and mommy's money. Yeah, they be acting a goddamn fool, from my understanding, right? DUIs and everything, right? So I mean, imagine. Let's think about that. Imagine being the child of somebody rich and famous, right? You know, imagine being the child of someone rich and famous, and then the adult child of someone rich and famous. Now, is Corey rolling in the dough like that? No. Is he super famous like that? No. But Corey's famous enough. Oh yeah. Yep. Passport OG. Yep. I heard this too, and I heard he disavowed his son here too. And Passport OG said, Jackie Chan's kid is a whole mess. Yeah. I heard he disavowed his son too. I heard he said his son ain't getting nothing. That's crazy, right? Yep. Even Warren Buffett. For those of us that ever watched that 1% documentary from the Johnson and Johnson grandson, um, when he interviewed one of Warren Buffett's granddaughters, and she said, "Yeah, my granddad will pay for your college or whatever, but after that, you on your own, right?" So yeah, that part. Hey, and y'all can say what y'all want about Trump. I'm not a Trump fan, but Trump kids out here not out here looking like Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is a whole. Let me say this again, and God protect my YouTube channel. But yeah, Hunter Biden is a whole goddamn cocaine head, crackhead, and we all have the speculation that those drugs they found in the White House was his. We all know it. Hunter Biden is a whole crackhead, yo. Right? And we ain't even gonna talk about the rumors about what the Bush twins were on when they were in college. Oops. And y'all already know if I brought up the Bush twins, are you gonna do it, Z? You gonna do it? Yes, I'm about to do it. Y'all already know. We already look sideways at the oldest Obama daughter. She just like her daddy. Goddamn, Z. She looked like him too. Right? She weird like him too. Goddamn, Z. I'm gonna stop. Right? Right? Chelsea Clinton over here marrying the son of a goddamn super scammer. Goddamn, Z. Which I thought Z didn't know. I know. Y'all didn't know Hillary. I'm sorry. Chelsea Clinton's husband, father, spent time in prison for pulling the same type of stunts as from my understanding. I have some of the details wrong. I already know. For pulling the same type of stunts as Jared Kushner's dad. Oops. Which I thought Z didn't know. I know. Look, the children of these weirdo people, and that's why Jared Kushner is a whole. That's why Jared Kushner is friends with Mohammed bin Salman, and I can't stand Mohammed bin Salman, fucking murderer. I told y'all I'm using profanity this morning, right? Okay, yeah. Y'all don't understand. Hey, I haven't felt so American than with that Mohammed bin Salman situation with Khashoggi. Y'all don't understand. Mr. Z was on some. If I if the U.S. can't touch him, I would go to whatever the king name is. Hey, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Listen, he's not the next one. You better find someone else. We pulling all these F-16s out. We're gonna drop you like a bad habit, and we're gonna Z. Yeah. I don't give. Listen, I don't give a fuck. He's not the next one. Pick someone else. Once it came out that it was Khashoggi, man, hey, I never felt so American in my life. Like, wait, what? Oh, bitch, you killing American? I don't give a fuck if he was naturalized. You killing American citizens and chopping them up and putting them in bags? Oh, watch this. Yeah, you're not the next king player. I don't give a fuck. Nope. I wish you would. But Jared Kushner's is in him are friends, and you know Biden put him on ice for a little bit, but now everything's okay again. Nope, not under Mr. Z's watch. I don't care. I may not be able to touch you, but I know one thing: you ain't the next king. Y'all would catch Z on a tape on purpose. Y'all would catch Z on a tape just like how they caught homegirl, whatever her name is, that was picking who's gonna be the next leader of Ukraine some years ago. Yeah, right. Oh, good point. And Loki Darkness says compare all this kid's disrespect to primetime getting a house from his. Good point. Wow. Yeah, good point. And Mr. Shook to you says Dre's daughter was using his money to do whatever she wanted and unaccountable in life, screwing different dudes, babies left and right. Man. Yep. Wow. Better you. That's hysterical. The first crackhead, but hysterical, right? But yeah, this is just Mr. Z kind of going off this morning. I had some stuff to do, and then I just wanted to kind of talk to y'all while I was working, while I'm still working. Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Uh, this kid thing. Hey, I could imagine. I could imagine, right? So I do believe, and I mean it when I say, I think parents owe children forever, even your adult children. With that, though, with that honor respect part, man, that honor respect part, you know, that part. Number one, number two, I'm gonna need you to grow up. Forget my money, my money. I'm gonna need you to grow up, right? And that's why I believe in, like, if you have the means, putting your child in something that helps to discipline them, and help them to mature. Because you can't have like 28, 30, 32 year old like F ups. In the case of Hunter Biden, 50 some odd year old F ups. And then you're going to pass on your money to them for them to do what? Overdose on some drugs? Right? Like, you know, there's that, right? I mean, if we look at celebrity children, an example of one that we have our issues with her, but that's not doing too bad. Tracy Ellis Ross, right? Tracy Ellis Ross, we have our issues with her, and she don't got no kids, but okay, whatever. All right, right? And the other son, I think one of the sons is in banking somewhere. The other son is the one that was in ATL, from my understanding, with Ti. Okay, right? So there you go with that one. There's children of um Denzel Washington's son, right? The actor. Okay, you see Ice Cube's son acting. All right, right? What's his name? Y'all know who I'm speaking about. The white actor whose son is in Monarch with him, and the son plays the past him, right? What is his name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. What's this white dude's name? Older white actor, um, famous in the 80s and the 90s. And his son is playing the younger version. Well, yeah, actually the younger version of him in Monarch, right? Exactly. Thank you, Tro. John David Washington. That's Denzel's son, and O'Shea Duke Jackson. Kurt Russell. Thank you, Hitflix. Kurt Russell. Right. Yeah. Better you said Jaden before 12. Wasn't too bad, right? Yeah, So there's a couple of you know, Anderson Cooper, even though sexuality, okay, whatever. Um, he almost single well, but then you know him as a Anderson Cooper. You don't know him as a Vanderbilt, right? But like the Vanderbilts ain't have it like that anymore. You know. So yeah, there's a number of these people. And like that goes to say like, how you rich and your kids is all type of messed up, right? How are you rich and your kids are all type of messed up? Like, what did you do with your resources? Like, the real question: what's the point of having the wealth and of having the children if you don't raise them to be good caretakers of this, right? Like, I'm giving you a lottery ticket. I'm giving you a name to traffic on. I'm giving you wealth. I'm giving you access. Like, let's be honest, Trump took his grandfather's name and became a president with it. And that wasn't even originally their last name. What was their last name originally? Trump? It was some weird old last name, right? And the grandfather used to run women, used to have what, gambling houses or something like that. And he took the last name from that to what his dad was doing, slumdog developer, but either way, to what he did to turning that to becoming the president. Okay, Druff. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Yeah, yeah. You better have changed that into Trump. Yeah, yep. You better have changed that into Trump because America isn't gonna elect no goddamn Trump. What is that? Oh, Trump. Ew, ew. Right. So yeah. So exactly. You know, and y'all gonna mess around and Barron gonna be president eventually one day. It ain't gonna be Eric. It ain't gonna be Junior. Yawn. Right. So certain things to think about. But these people with you're rich, bro. And I'm not saying adult children don't have a mind of their own. True indeed. But you know, raising your children to have be good caretakers of this legacy. What's the point if you can't do that? Good point. Low key darkness says I think a lot of it is look. Look at the kid. Look at Kennedy. Yeah, Junior was on track to maybe become president. JFK Jr. Right. There's a couple of them that got close. What's her name? Caroline Kennedy at one point could have been senator. Right. She just she didn't speak well enough. You could argue the same thing about RFK Jr. Right. But now they're pushing him into like the conspiracy theorist lane. Right. JFK Jr. definitely had the look of his father and the kind of gravitas behind him, and then a plane accident. I have a whole tinfoil conspiracy theory about that, but and it's pretty much exactly what y'all think it is. Ted Kennedy wasn't too bad after the car accident. After Ted Kennedy was another one that was pretty much immature until about 50 something. Y'all just don't know it because he was in government the whole time. Right? Ted was another one you just don't know. But yeah, yeah. It was after the accident that right? But yeah. Same thing with the Bushes, right? Because down here in Florida, Jeb's daughter and Jeb's son, yeah. Now you don't really hear about too much craziness, but there was a time you like, what are y'all raising? Right? But I mean, if your uncle is Senator of Texas, your father is Senator of Florida, right? Oh, I said senator. I'm sorry, governors in both states, right? Your grandfather is former president, former CIA. Come on, man, right? Rumor has it that he was at the yeah, I ain't even go to Prescott. I ain't even go to Granddaddy Bush, right? Rumor has it that Bush Sr. was at the JFK assassination. Anyway, but that's tinfoil theory. That's tinfoil theory. Maybe, kind of, sort of, maybe not. And we ain't even gonna talk about Prescott Bush, borderline Nazi. Anyway, yeah, that part. Just because y'all don't see Mr. Z talk about this type of stuff all the time doesn't mean I don't know. But you know, my channel is usually we talking about more current events and more contemporary politics and social issues and what ails the black community and definitely black man, black women relationships and et cetera, et cetera. But even though Mr. Z is a community college dropout, do not forget Mr. Z's major was political science, right? Poli-sci. So yeah. Right. I may not talk about this stuff all the time, but I already told y'all I'm subscribed to all of it. I'm subscribed to the Casper Report, real life lore, all of it, right? Visual politics, visual economics, all of that stuff. Some more news. Well, I'm a lefty, so of course. Yeah, all of it. TYT, yeah. I occasionally go in to listen to what the hell Ben Shapiro or Candace Owens is talking about. Yawn. But yeah. John Jones said, man, you need to do at least one tinfoil hat episode. You know that's going to be the one to get my channel knocked off, right? That would be the one. Because I'm going all the way there with it. Right? I would go all the way there. Look, we pulling out all the stops. The magic bullet with JFK. I'm talking about all of it. Right? Operation Northwoods, Operation Paperclip, yeah, all of it. So, right, that would be the show to get my channel knocked off. Talking about being knocked off, right? Democracy Now, of course, and Real News. Indigo asks Democracy Now, yeah, Democracy Now and Real News, yeah, all of it. Tim Black, I'm subscribed, man. I'm subscribed or watch. I told y'all my YouTube history is a smorgasbord of what the hell. Right? Exactly. And Indigo said, no, I don't know. You might gotta go behind the wall like BGS for that one. Yeah, that would definitely be a behind the wall. Right? That would definitely have to be a behind the wall because if we didn't talk about that, like I even felt weird just now, what I was saying about the children of the presidents, right? Dimcad, I've been subscribed to Dimcad. How long have I been subscribed to Dimcad? We're in 2024. I want to say within the first. I've actually spoken to Dimcad a couple of times, right? When he would do lives, I've probably been subscribed to Dimcad at least since 2010-ish, maybe longer than that. I want to say I was subscribed to Dimcad within his first, no, maybe 09 or 08. When did Dimcad start his channel? Because I've been subscribed since pretty much the beginning. Right? Like, y'all don't even remember Fat Dimcad. I remember Fat Dimcad. He ain't fat no more. But I remember Pudgy Dimcat, right? Better you. I ain't even gonna say it. I read it. Yep, 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 yep. And apparently, their family is one of the original families that came on the Mayflower. Maybe I'm not 100% sure, but I've heard that. Yeah, right. So yeah, I've been subscribed to Dimcat for a minute, right? I don't keep up like I used to. I mean, a lot of these people I don't keep up like I used to. Like I said with y'all, with Corey and stuff like that. Going back to the what I was saying earlier. But yeah, no, yeah, I'm telling y'all, like I'm all over YouTube. Exactly, John Jones. Literally, literally. And by the way, don't let it be lost on you that the one with the crackhead son helped to pass one of the most pivotal laws to lock up our older cousins and our brothers and our uncles with drugs off of drug crimes. And yet you have a whole blatant crackhead son, right? That's crazy, right? That's crazy. And your son that wasn't a slime ball, at least from what we know, wasn't a bigger slime ball, let's say like that. The one that could have maybe continued your legacy died of what, cancer or something like that. And the one that God decided to leave alive is the embarrassment. Hey, for those of us that believe in God, man, don't he got a funny sense of humor? Don't he have a funny sense of humor? The son that went to the military, that was upright, and that was probably going to be the one to carry your legacy on. God took him, and then the whole f up, the embarrassment is a crackhead piped the wife of the son that was actually worth something. Wait, let's get this right. Cheated on his wife with the wife of the widow of the older son, then left both of them for a 20-something-year-old. Nigga, bought in your house is a wreck. Right? If that ain't karma, bitch, that's what you get for locking up our uncles. Fuck off. And we watching your mental decline as your president. Fuck out of here. No, he didn't marry her. He didn't marry her. But he was piping. Right? Oh, I didn't know he said that. That's funny. And Mr. Shook to you said Trump is really David Hasselhoff. Right? Hunter Biden is actually Charlie Sheen. Hysterical. If there's a such thing as karma, there you go, y'all. There you go. There you go. We watching your mental decline. At least, like, people, rumor had it about what's his face, Ronald Reagan, right? But they were still able to keep that under wraps for the most part. Ain't no keeping under wraps for Biden. We're watching it, and everybody know your son a crackhead, and your son was piping your other son's widow, and your son out here parading around with a goddamn 20-something-year-old as a 50-something-year-old man. Which, okay. Oh yeah, we are. Oh yeah, yeah. We. Oh yeah, we using profanity this morning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. I ain't even gonna say. And if I really see, because then I would start sounding like the black women with how they speak about karma. But what I said earlier about which of the sons God decided to, I'll just leave it there. Right. The country, not just the country, the world. Xi Jinping would never. Xi Jinping said, "How awful if you try to do that for me." Xi Jinping probably train his kid every day. Oh, say I'm bored. Okay, okay. Give me a second, y'all. Hopefully, you guys can hear me better now. Oh, maybe now, maybe now. Give me a second, y'all. Am I still working? I shouldn't be working anymore. What about now, y'all? What about now? Okay, let's see. Still working well. Okay. Xi Jinping kids know better, right? Yeah. But yeah, y'all. So that happened. But yeah, and all of this stems from me talking about Corey Holcomb and his daughter. But yeah, look, man, I don't know. I don't know what people be thinking. I really don't. Right? I really don't know what people be thinking. Like, I don't know. If like I don't know if Corey Holcomb's my dad, I would know better than to try to threaten him, right? Or any of that. Like Jason Miles has lightweight win on his daughter for not calling him for his birthday. For those of you that don't know who Jason Miles is the bald head brother from This Is Revolution, right? And he low key went in like he didn't really go in on her, but he made a couple of jokes about maybe was it about maybe a couple years ago because I guess she didn't call him for his birthday, and he made a couple of comments like y'all better stop messing around with y'all famous ass black parents. They're gonna flame your ass in public. Y'all better stop, right? And who would lose their mind? Like I don't know. Obviously, we don't know his daughter or whatever, but who would lose their mind and threaten their dad if their dad is Corey Holcomb, right? Yeah, and I caught about 60% of that. And John Joe says you and Gigi should team up and talk about the anti-intellectual movement he talked about Sunday. I caught about 60% of that. Um, and yeah, so the wisdom and intelligence of just what how was I going to phrase this? Believe just trust in your gut and like I do think there's a space and time for intuition and trusting your gut and but like we got to remember America is America and like especially when you consider the South and like this like strict adherence to wisdom of experience over intellects and intellectuals, a lot of that comes from like some of the conspiracy theory lane. A lot of that comes from when intellectuals and intelligentsia and the smart people in the room have other agendas and it gets found out. Um, and some of that just is straight up like Gigi was saying, like Dr. Green Gorilla was saying, like yeah, just straight up anti-intellectualism, right? Yeah. So you know, and I've definitely been in spaces with other black people who and with white people too, but in this case, other black people who yeah, their experiences and their beliefs about things, they think trump what the hell you're talking about, even when you bring up the data and the statistics and the numbers and the research. Um, being black men, that's part of the black manosphere. We definitely know that's the case concerning relationships with black women. Um, and I think it's something about America where we like to wing it, and say we found a different way anyway. Like I didn't have to follow this lane or this prescribed road, and I winged it and it worked for me. Now, does that happen with certain things? Absolutely, right? Like there are single mothers who are able to raise functional children that go off to university and like that are, you know, doing okay in life, and those people, funny enough, end up being married, right? But the likeliness as compared to the two parent household, with the parents who stayed together and gave their children an example of man woman relationship and what love looks like and what obligation looks like, um, it's just so much more likely that those two people produce a particular outcome compared to the, you know, trust in my mom. It happens, man. Like my my mom's my mom. No, 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 my mom's mom, right? My grandmother. Same thing. Let me see. My dad's situation. Yeah, yes, no-ish, right? John Joe said, we think winging it should be the norm, and nah. You see what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying, right? And you could call that like the and then individualism that was pushed over the past few decades didn't make any of that better, honestly, right? But anti-intellectualism, yeah, I just think it's something about, there was a point where I used to work at a AutoZone, and you would have people come in, um and it was in the hood, and you would have people come in and you would tell them like, yo, you need this part, like this is the part, especially like, the funniest thing, and I remember this story in particular. I was talking to a Jamaican cat, kind of middle age ish Jamaican dude, and I told him you need a power steering hose, but you need the pressure one, and this is it. This is the part number. And when he saw the cost of it, he was like, "No, just give me a piece of hose." Okay, fine. What's the length? Okay, pause. Right. What's the length? Cut the hose for him, bro. He turned that boom, turned it on. I'm like, what did you think? Right. It is just like you. Okay, I get it. Certain things the auto manufacturers put in or put on the car that's like, you know for cosmetics or for sound deadening and all this other stuff that may not necessarily need the car may not necessarily need to function. Okay, fine. Right? It's just convenience, right? Okay, fine. Bruh, uh pressure hose for your power steering is not one of them. I like this one. I'm using this, right? And John Jones says plan B is to beeline back to plan A. I like that. I'm using that. Oh, okay, better you said it. Yeah, too. For me, plan B is to make plan A work, right? Oh, I like. Yep, yep. John Jones says winging it as plan A equals no solid foundation slash infrastructure. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And yeah, so that winging it thing, man. But I definitely want to give my little commentary about the Ebony K. Williams on Just Listen to Black Women, which, oh god, that channel. Ugh. Woo! Whew. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Just listen to black women. Just listen to black women, and yet y'all have these four lights. Shout out to Black Uru. These four light skinned like Black Uru always says, he says it like that on purpose. Light skinned women up there, right? These quote unquote preferences up there, and they all single, right? and they talking, and it's like, but once again, like this is the beauty of the black community. We're letting black women talk, and they talking, and they talking, and they talking, and they complaining, and they talking, and they pestering, and they talking, and they talking, and they giving their opinion, and they talking, and they talking, right? And they're talking, and they talking, and they talking, and they've been talking for at least 4 or 5 decades now, and they talking, and they talking, and they talking, and they single as hell, and they giving their opinions, and they talking, and they talking. And they're chastising black men, but of course they are. And they're belittling black men, but of course they are. And they're insulting black men, but of course they are. And they single as hell. And it wouldn't be a problem if you single as hell if you wanted to be single as hell. But you claim you want to be in a relationship, but you single as hell. Are you sure you don't want to be single as hell? That negative liberty, though. Oh, and Trail says, drove an old Cutlass in college where the power steering went out. My biceps got swole. You know what's funny about that? So, like, in the Honda world, especially for like pre 2000s Hondas, so that's Acura Integras, Honda Civics, um, they take the power steering out on purpose, right? A couple of the Honda guys, they take the power steering out on purpose, right? And yep, because I had to move a couple of those cars. And yep, even for those little ass Civics, everything between like 0 miles an hour to about 5-ish. God, woo, boy. Hey, Trell, I know, I know. Try to turn that wheel from standstill to about 5 miles an hour, man. Right? And for all of you that wonder why, you'll see them look like they struggling to turn the wheel and they underhand the wheel when they turn over, right? And that's because it's so goddamn hard. Pause. But yeah, it's so difficult, better yet, right? Hey, thank you. Thank you. And low key darkness says Ebony K. Williams is intentionally ignorant around those ladies for a bag. We know she's smarter than that. We know she and Ebony is far more aware than she gives off. Than she gives off. She's far more knowledgeable. She's far more aware. I never underestimate that lady, right? And the only one that kind of peeps is Melissa Ford, right? Yep, right. And homegirl that was sitting next to her, the one that got into it with Michael B. Jordan, um, eh, right? Like it's kind of messed up. I'm gonna say it. What you got going for you? Just you light skin, right? And why do we have like the what's oh goddamn, I can't remember the name because I really if I would say the name I'm gonna have to ask y'all for the name. What's the name of the golden character off of Sonic again? Like the gold Sonic? Why you got the gold Sonic weave on? I wish I could have just remembered it and said it. I should have looked it up. That's why I messed up. I should have looked it up before I tried to tell the joke. That's why I messed up. My bad. Tails? No, not Tails. Supersonic. Thank you. Supersonic better you. Thank you. Thank you. Why she got the supersonic colored weave on? Right? Come on, man. You can't be talking crap about brother Michael B. Jordan when you over here rocking the supersonic colored weave. Right? And no guarantee says my Black Manosphere feeds have been non-existent in 2024 and 24. Sheesh, get your dumbbell curls up, right? Man, man. We'll leave that up for a little bit. Detroit. Oh, it's funny because it's true. Wow, we look, bro. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna be flaming this. See, this is why they be calling brothers sassy, right here. Because black women think they can flame you and insult you and not get it back on the other end. Even though homegirl doesn't know me and she never said nothing about me, but I'm just saying. And Detroit said Super Saiyan face hacks. Oh, why don't we look like the color of this on this super chat? Oh man, look. I felt a certain way. You was going in on a brother, Michael B. Jordan, when you really want to say, God damn, he made it famous. We used to bully him and make fun of him, and now he's famous. God damn it. Right? And he's seen as a heartthrob, right? And the ladies like him. God damn it. I should have flirted with him when I had the chance. And instead of you saying that, right? Instead of you doing what Shirley Shepard tried to do with what's his face, right? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The brother with the eyes, Obama's homeboy. Goddamn. Hill? What is his name again? Mr. Z, I'm gonna need you to work on these names. Seriously. Because I want to say Mark Lamar Hill. It's not Mark Lamar Hill. Hill Harper. There we go. Now I remember. Hill Harper. Remember. Right? And instead of you doing what Shirley Shepard did with Hill Harper, you just went the other way and just said, yeah, I'ma still say he was corny. Right? And that sounds nice. You can call the brother corny all you want, but right? But yeah. And it is like Melissa Ford should have been off the market forever ago. Ebony K. Williams should have been off the market forever ago. The could have been, would have been, should have been. Faith Evans should have been off the market forever ago. Right? And then the other one at the end, right? That kind of have that Afro Latina look to her. She's cute, but yeah. John Jones said corny equals stable, hysterical. Hysterical. Right. Huh. But yeah. So ending out, we gonna end out in a couple minutes. I gotta make room. Yeah, y'all. So the Corey Holcomb daughter thing, bro, I don't know. Why would you ever try to threaten your comedian father? Your father is a comedian who does live streams once a week, and everybody know he about the business and that he has no filter. Why would you ever like what? Detroit, that's even funnier. We gonna let that one go. We gonna let that one slide. That was funny. To me, she really give the if Raditz went Super Saiyan look though. Right? She really give me the Raditz but Super Saiyan look. Right? Or the Super Saiyan 3 Goku look. Right? That's number one. Number two. Yeah, the Ebony K. Williams thing, the Jess Hilarious now being on the Breakfast Club apparently thing. I disagree with Angry Man where like this kind of overcorrection with dark skinned black women. No, let's be honest, dark skinned sisters, yes, they've been complaining about their image and whatever, and the Breakfast Club pretty much got bullied into putting Jess Hilarious in that position. But I do agree with Angry Man. I don't think this is gonna end well. That one I do think. I don't think this is gonna end well. There's a couple of things that when I listen to Jess Hilarious speak, there's a couple of things that are off, right? I do think she has funny moments. I've heard her speak sometimes and have a little couple of jokes here and there that I thought was kind of funny. But I agree with Angry Man where I don't think it's going to end well. I don't think we've tried to overcorrect with the light skinned, dark skinned black woman thing. To be honest with you, I don't think we have. Right? That's funny, Trell, because you know what I thought when you said that. And Trell says, "Come on, highlight, please." And there we go. And Trell says, "Rappers in the '90s were all Christian. Everybody had faith. Hysterical." Oh man! And everybody knows where I'm about to go with this. Alexa, play Tupac. Hit him up, please. What did he say in the beginning? Oh, because we're using profanity today. You fat motherfucker, so fuck you, bitch. By the way, I was lyrically Biggie over Pac all day, every day. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I know West Coast. I know it's not fair. Yeah. Whatever. Stop it. Stop it. We all know Biggie can spit. But when Pac said that, look, look. When Pac said that, come on. Oh, it was Who Shot You? My bad. Who Shot You? Thank you, Detroit. Right. Hit him up was the other one. You're right. I forgot. Who Shot You? He said, you start a song. You start the song like that? You start the song like that? I don't see. Is it no filter or is it no discipline? Hysterical. Indigo, that's funny. And low key darkness is just gonna go left. She has no filter. Is it no filter or is it no discipline? And once again, no guarantees. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right? Good point. And Toya says, I think she will work because she's very different from Angela, and the younger demographic is more reckless like she is. Hmm. Uh, yeah. Yep. I have to consider what Toya said because she's right about that. Huh. But I don't know, Toya. I don't know. It's something about Just Hilarious what I don't know. Mm, we'll see. We'll see. Right? Huh. But yeah. Um. Let me. Excuse me, y'all. Let me pause right there for real. Spain man, you late? Right? Spain man trying to sneak in the back of the class. Nah. Caught. No, but yeah, I just wanted to speak to y'all today. Randomly. Um. And low key dark. You see, this is what I'm saying. She has a lot of don't give a f. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's true. And Toya says, I agree from our generation standpoint, but I think that's why they hired her. Um, she can reach who Charlemagne and Envy can't. That's true. That's true. I do think she brings a different demographic. That's true. Right? That's true. Let's see. Let's see, because I mean, yeah, and there's a lot of streams I have to finish watching. I have to finish watching Angry Man stream to see where he goes and how he's gonna tie the Nicki Minaj um um beef with Megan Thee Stallion and Just Hilarious thing together, because he said he will. So I got to finish listening to his stream. I have to go and listen to Jason Black's stream um on the business. What else did I bring up earlier? I watched that Corey Holcomb stream that everyone was speaking about. Um for a little bit. I watched it a little bit, so yeah. There's that. Wolf gave me something to. I can't click that here. Give me 1 second. Wolf. Give me 1 second. Let me click that from here so that I can have it in my history. Give me 1 second. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I watch this? I think I watched this from Rising. Let me see. Did I watch this? Yeah, I did watch a lot of this. I don't remember that well though. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Well, I guess we have something to review and speak about in a little bit, right? Thank you, Wolf. Right? Yeah. Yep. Got it from Sarge Willie Pete. No, I saw it yesterday. I saw it yesterday. I'm gonna probably review it. It was on my list of things to finish watching and potentially review. You just expedited the process. Wolf, I don't like that you call her my girl. I mean, I do find Brianna Joy Gray cute. I do think that. Right. So yeah, and I like her debate style, and this is someone who wasn't like. It's interesting because when I look at Brianna Joy Gray, I think Kim Foster thinks she's Brianna Joy Gray, if that makes any sense, right? Like I think that's who Kim Foster thinks she is, right? Like like when she rated herself a 7.2, when she speaks, when she puts on the white girl um you know I don't even want to say valley girl voice because it really isn't, right? See, Toya said, yes, Z, it does make sense. I'm telling you, that's Kim Foster thinks she's Brianna Joy Gray. That's who she thinks she is. That's who she thinks she looks like. That's who she think like she is. Like that's the space she thinks she occupies in the minds of other people, particularly in the black community. Right? That's who she thinks she is. And I'm like, bro, like, and this is the thing, like, the reason why y'all see I'm able to speak about these people, particularly the women, the way I it's because I've been thinking and moving like since like elementary school. Like I have family members, relatives, associates, friends from high school, friends from college that will tell you like Z always was like this. Now, obviously, a less mature version, a less knowledgeable version, right, of who I am now. But I've been trending down this direction for decades. Like this is not something I woke up at 25 or 28 and like, oh, I'm gonna go down this lane. No, like I've listened to people speak. I've tried to put what they're saying together with what they really mean. Um, how they think they present to the world. And by the way, being introspective also, how do I think I present to the world? And that has allowed me to have this ability to see through what you're saying and what you really mean. And of course I don't get it right all the time, duh, right? And that's why I'm able to critique Kim Foster the way I do, and Chrissy the way I do, and Yanni the way I do, right? And all these other people, and listen to them long enough to be like, oh, that's your real, there we go, that's the real issue right there, right? And the way you hear Kim Foster speak about beauty and desirability, right, and the aesthetics of things. When she called herself a 7.2, she said a lot, right? When she said when she spoke about her man and how she's shallow, right? And I'm like, the way y'all think y'all present to the world, the way you think you present to the world is not how you present to the world. And like, dear women in general, black women specifically, you can't Jedi mind trick people like that. You can tell people how to treat you by how you speak and move, yes, to a certain extent. But just because you say you're a 7.2 does not mean you're a 7.2, right? Like both of y'all, if I'm not mistaken, didn't Brianna Joy Gray go to Harvard too? So if both of y'all went to this school, she's an attorney, you're not, but still, you think that's how we see you. No, right? Prodigy said, "Damn, I thought I was the only one up on Breonna Joy Gray. Man, I've been following Breonna Joy Gray since she was press secretary for Bernie. Not because I thought she was cute, but because I was like, huh, she's different and she's willing to fight. And she was kind of low key mad at Bernie for not fighting. He actually had to kind of shush her up, right?" Toya says she's also a Leo, right? And seeing that fight in her, actually, I was like, okay, right? And like even when I listen to her speak, even when I see the way she spoke about, because like maybe two times a year, she'll have a stream speaking about her kind of issues in the dating market. Although now I think she has a boyfriend, but she would speak about her issues in the dating market. And even when she was kind of going in on brothers, she wasn't really. You could see there isn't this "y'all are beneath me, I'm better than you, why won't y'all choose me though" vibe from her, right? Like your issue is that the European view, like I said, who Kim Foster thinks she is Breonna Joy Gray. She thinks she's Breonna Joy Gray in our minds. It's like, no, you're not, right? And when you compare the two, when you unpack how Kim Foster speaks about relationships in the black community and how Breonna Joy Gray would often do it, it's not the same. Yes, there's still angst there. Yes, there's a certain level of like, oh boy, I don't know. I want a black man, but I don't really know, right? But it's different. It's different, right? So I'm just saying. Prodigy said, "I always skip her dating episodes." Eh, right? I don't, because I think for me, the way black people see each other when it comes to sex, intimacy, sexuality, yes, even like gay brothers, straight brothers, lesbian sisters, straight sisters, like the way you see black people in that tells me how much you think you should advocate for black people and black people that you may disagree with. And so when you hear Kim Foster speak about black men, she speaks as if she's doing us a favor. That's the same way she was coming at protesting for black men. That's the same way she was speaking about protesting. That's the angle at which she was coming from protesting for Eric Garner, right? It's this idea that y'all are not deserving, but I'm gonna do it anyway, right? Y'all are not deserving, and I'm gonna reluctantly do it anyway. Better yet, and that's it. And it's all off of the it's my grace, right? And that's a different attitude from, you know, I'm doing this because I have a larger obligation to the black community. You messed up, but we gotta talk about that behind the scenes, right? It's just different. And you could see that with, like, when you listen to Chrissy speak, especially after we realized that she does actually listen to Z, when she was like, and I'm going to paraphrase, when she was essentially saying, "I'm never going back to being pro-black." That's how I know I hit a button. I hit a button. There's something I said that hit a button where she thought about it and was like, "Yeah, I do sound freaking insane." So what she's telling me is I ain't never going back to being pro-black. But you right, I do got to slow my roll. And you're probably right that in the grand scheme of things, people can't really tell the difference between me and Cynthia G. I may not be full on abort black male babies, but I could see where people really can't tell too much of the rhetorical difference between me and a Cynthia G. Right? So, you know, when you listen to Lexus Exodus, when you Crystal and Karazin, you get an idea of what is fueling that rage and that resentment towards black men. And that I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you black men by being the bust down for a white man. And because black women know that black men still care, yes, they are willing to potentially, owe themselves out to prove a point. And I really started to think about how far a person is willing to go, even hurting themselves in proving a point. When I listened to this was years ago, the brother Adrian, gay brother, flaming gay. This is the type of gay I wear blouses, like sheer blouses gay. He was actually on the Grapevine one time, but the stream, the video I'm talking about that he did was even before he ever appeared on the Grapevine. And I watched this, and he was speaking about Father's Day, and he was going in on his father, and he kind of said, nah, he really did say, like low key, like if you really listen to what he was saying, low key, I'm kind of doing this to get back at you. And I'm like, nigga, you a whole bottom to get back at your dad? Right? He kind of said it. He kind of sort of somewhat said it. I am who I am because you were afraid to show me fatherly love in an intimate way. And I mean, when I'm saying that, like, don't get your heads out the gutter. I mean, like above board the way I'm saying it. You weren't the loving father. You were, when they say abusive, right? Because he didn't pretty much say that his father was abusive to his mother, but when they say, they mean like you were like, they really mean super stern. And so that's the vibe that he gave me. But when he said that, I said, wow, you're willing to go that far. So if a brother's willing to go that far, you can imagine how far certain women, namely black women, are willing to go to spite black men. And tying that all back to Breonna Joy Gray and Kim Foster, I would argue that's why Breonna Joy Gray, right, and Kim Foster, although they occupy the same class position, and I would argue much of their upbringing was probably the same, because they both grew up kind of upper middle class-ish, right? Parents together, like both. As a matter of fact, wow, now that I'm really thinking about it, because I never actually thought about it until just now when I'm speaking to y'all. They have similar-ish upbringings. But once again, one of them has a certain angst against black men that they think they're better at covering, number one. Number two, they think they present to the world in a way that they don't, so they resent when they don't get the treatment they think they should be getting. Right? No, it's not Donovan. It's not Donovan. Right? And from Africa, I came says, I don't believe this. What part? Which don't you believe? What am I missing? Right? And Wolf says, I definitely get your point, Z. She looks a bit better than Kim Foster, so she's probably less bitter. She probably gets more hysterical in her DMs than Kimberly. Right? And I think that makes a world of difference. I think we it's funny because we speak about being objective and objectivity and all of these things, and I think we leave a big ass blind spot for the people that don't buy into that idea, and for the people that have it on an on and off switch. And I'll be honest with y'all, I don't know how much I buy into people truly being objective. I don't think we really can be. I think we talk that talk, but I don't think we really can be. I mean people in general. And I think it's really represented when you see and when you hear a Cynthia G speak, right? I think it's for all of us that ever seen that clip when Ben Shapiro snapped on stage when he was there with a couple of black people. This is from forever ago. This is younger Ben Shapiro, right? Young Ben Shapiro, and he was like, "Well, why do black people crime rate like this?" And da 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 da. And you know when he scrunch up his forehead and he get real serious and it's da 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 da. And you know the white racists love to circulate that. And the part that nobody ever wants to speak about is Ben Shapiro said all of this. Why did he say all of that? What was the point of that? And the point of it is to say, and I gotta say it the way I gotta say it, you niggers are where you are because you deserve to be there. You're lesser beings. You lack discipline. You haven't adhered yourself to the rules of this white society. You're criminals. You're shiftless. Once again, you're criminals. You're shiftless. The fathers don't want to stay at home with the mothers. The mothers are wayward. You're drug addicts and drug sellers. You deserve to be in the position. All of that was his way of saying, y'all are on the bottom, not because of racism, white supremacy. It's the same thing that Bill O'Reilly used to do on Fox News. Exactly the same. Black people are where they are because they deserve to be there. It has nothing to do with no white supremacy or no white hegemony or no racism or anti-blackness. All of those are excuses. The reason why black people are on the bottom is because you lack discipline, right? And you're losers, right? And this is when they bring up Thomas Sowell, right? Or some Nigerians or some. But once again, the question is, but why did you say all of this? Tying that to Kim Foster and them, but why are you saying all of this? And it's because you think you're 7.2, but you're not getting 7.2 treatment from black men. You'll never own it. You'll never say, and that's what made Stephanie. That's what made what she said in that video. That's what made so many women gravitate to her. The reason why that video right there specifically did numbers is because she actually finally said it. That's not what Chrissy was saying. That's not what Kim Foster was saying. That's not what Cynthia G was saying with her daddy issue having ass. Stefco finally said it. I don't have pretty girl privilege. Whatever pretty girl might be. And Stefco admitted that she see women that look just like her that are married to black men. That part too. Right? So that's why I think the difference between Kim Foster and Breonna Joy Gray. And if you look at the different way they speak about black people, namely black men, that's reflected in how what I would argue is how they've been received by black men and then how they receive black men. Right? When you let me say it better. And Kevin was really good at this. And this is why Jason Black tried to stress when he's had a couple of panels of different young women there, and he tried to have an example and speak to the young ladies one time about Gabri Sidibe or like different women and how they look and whatever. And essentially they tried to do the whole, every woman is beautiful in her own way type thing. And Jason Black was trying to stress to them, when y'all say that though, it's not right. When you think you're protecting her and protecting her feelings, you're actually destroying her life. Because when you continue to tell the woman who doesn't get treated the way you get treated as, okay, fine. If you are a 5 or a 6, you get a certain treatment. If you are a 7 or an 8, you get a certain treatment. If you are a 9, you get a certain treatment. But when you continue to tell the 4 and the 3 that they are just as attractive as the 5 and the 6, or God forbid the 7, the 8, or the 9, when they don't get 9 treatment, then they get mad at the opposite sex. And that is what Kim Foster is doing to herself and what her subscribers do to themselves and to her. Right? That's what, when we continue to tell women, oh, we're all pretty in our own way, we're all beautiful in our own way, and all you and you see this with Jenny Mine, you see this with Tia Mowry or whatever, and all you gotta do is work on yourself and just love yourself more, and then men will know how to treat you and respect you because all you're gonna do is focus on you and bettering you and loving yourself more. And the outcome of that is an egotistical maniac who thinks they're a 7.2, and that is not how they present to men in general. Let's be honest, Kim. Specifically black men. Right? And your outcomes in the dating world, you could call it colorism all you want. Your outcomes in the dating world, in the mating world, with marriage, etc., show that, yeah, that ain't it. That's not it. Right? That's all. But it's not. And here go John Jones. So the pretty girls lied to frumpy girls, and they mad at us now. Well, yeah, they have an issue with the fact that they're not getting the outcomes that they think they deserve, that like they think they should have. Right? The outcomes they think they should have, they're not getting it. Because everybody been telling them, like, okay, fine. When we look at Kelly Rowland, and you look at another sister that's around her same skin tone, whatever, but heavier, right? Shorter, maybe less symmetrical features, and then you tell her, oh, she's supposed to get this outcome, and she's just as pretty to men in general, black men specifically, as Kelly Rowland, but then she doesn't get the results that Kelly Rowland get. Now, the thing with that sister that I'm describing, she'll keep on saying, oh, these black men are colorists. They're featurists, they're texturists. And she'll think, oh, we're not choosing her because we have this indoctrination to European beauty standards. And so that's why we pick Beyonce or Carrie Hilson. But she's not paying attention to the fact that a Kelly Rowland bin got scooped up. Right? The darker skinned sisters will talk all of this stuff, but they don't realize that, oh, they're not even, they don't realize. They refuse to acknowledge that brothers like them a Lupita, right? We speak about Bria Miles all the time. A Marla Negra is fine as hell to us when she was thicker and now that she's slim. Before the gray eyes. But they refuse to pay attention to that. They're just looking at Carrie Hilson and Beyonce and saying that we colorists. Why? Because you've been lied to. Because everybody wants to protect your heart. And you've been lied to. Not only that, this is where the white dudes come in, right? Well, but white men love them dark skinned black women. It's black men that don't appreciate that. Are you sure about that? Right? Are you sure about that? Right? Because then you got to explain all of these Afro Latina women who only get lighter and lighter. Their daughter is lighter than them. Their mother is darker than them. Their grandmother is darker than them. That means there's white men in there. There's white men in there that's choosing the lighter and lighter and lighter. Uh-oh. Explain Paula Patton and Robin Thicke. Oops. Huh? What y'all talking about? John Jones, that's another one. Quotables. And John Jones says, women aren't liars, they're reality revisionists. Hysterical and accurate. Exactly. And St. Cyr says, they're going to say you like Kelly Rowland because she has Eurocentric features or some dumb stuff. Hysterical. Because it's true. Right? And so that's all it is, man. And I'm tying that all, we're going to end out now. But like tying that to the Kim Foster thing, that's all it is. Kim Foster thinks she presents to us the way Brianna Joy Gray presents to us. And I don't mean that in looks only. I'm saying the way they present, the way we see them, when it comes to the way they speak, the way they dress, the way there's a very specific word I'm looking for. The way we envision Brianna Joy Gray, Kim Foster just thinks she occupies that space. I think that's the best way for me to say it. And because black men, specifically the black men in the black manosphere, have made it abundantly clear that we do not see her that way, she thinks that there's something wrong with us. And that we're just misogynistic, misogynoir, sexist, mean-spirited, violent, terrorist black men. And then she uses stuff like that to justify why she speaks about us the way she does, particularly about brothers like Obsidian, and the reason why she wants us to respect class so much. Because you think you do occupy a certain class, Kim Foster, socioeconomically in the black community. You are absolutely right. But the fact that you got to keep on saying it, says a lot. Because you know who doesn't have to say it? Brianna Joy Gray. Uh-oh. You know who else doesn't have to say it? But they're light skinned, damn near white skin. Angela Rye. Ooh. Look at the women who want to remind us all the time that they occupy different position. The Ebony K. Williams of the world, the Kim Fosters of the world. Both women who are not exactly happy with what they're getting. But Angela Rye, which once again, when Ebony K. Williams said that thing about the bus driver, even though it's true about Angela Rye too, she wouldn't date no goddamn bus driver. Probably. She made sure to distance herself from that comment. Uh-oh. Even though Kim Foster and Brianna Joy Gray were single around the same time, one of them had a whole lot more angst about it than the other. Publicly. I wonder why. Right? Right? Oh, that's a good one. And Prodigy says, hey Z, since Brianna Joy Gray is anti-capitalist, how does she reconcile her hypergamy? Would she date a bus driver? I don't know if she would date a bus driver. Probably not. With these women, that's where the hypocrisy comes in. That's one thing you got to give Kim Foster and Ebony K. Williams. They actually say it. That's number one. But number two, they'll just say that they're looking. It's a sort of mating. They won't call it class mate guarding, right? They're just going to call it assortative mating. That's how leftist women in general, black women specifically, that's how leftist women couch their hypergamy. They don't call it hypergamy. They call it assortative mating, number one. Number two, that's why I love doing this. I'm happy when I see people do this. When you throw in their face that college-educated men or college-educated people and people that have more money are more likely to be married than people in poverty or struggling people. And then you watch them try to avoid the very obvious fact. When you say that, you're saying something. And you watch them try to avoid what you're implying and what you're suggesting by making that comment. Which is, if y'all are right, that marriage is not all it is, and then why is it that the people that can most afford not to be married, college educated, upperly mobile women, definitely women that earn six figures plus, $80,000 plus, why are they more likely to be married then? Why are college educated women more likely to be married? Why are women that earn six figures plus more likely to be married? And that's in and out of the black community. And they don't want to speak about the fact that, yeah, those women are even more dogged about hypergamy. They don't want to be honest that they're selling this free and independent and do your own thing and you don't need no man thing, right? Never get high on your own supply. They're selling that to all women, but women under the middle class, they're the ones that are adhering to it the most, particularly in the black community. And they're the ones who need that type of rhetoric the least. Kim Foster will not grapple with, even Breonna Joy Gray, they're not going to grapple with the fact that women like them in their class position are more likely to be married and stay married. So then the question becomes, and this is when you trip up these particular women, particularly on the left. If you want to know how to trip them up like this. Are we saying that college educated men or richer men are more mentally, emotionally intelligent than poorer men and men in poverty? Watch them get tripped up. I've done it in person. Are we saying that simply because a man? Give me a second, yo. And we're back. Are we saying that because a man went to college, or because he have a certain amount of income or a certain amount of wealth, are we saying that that automatically makes him more emotionally intelligent, a harder worker, more disciplined, more aware? Are we saying that? Because if we're not saying that, then explain, because, and this is the important part, women are who file for 70 to 80% of divorces. If they're college educated, 90%. So why is it that these same women who are ending up with the same men, but they're just more college educated or have more wealth, why aren't they divorcing their college educated husbands that earn $150,000 a year? Why are those same women more likely to divorce their not college educated husband that earns $40,000 a year? Right? That's the question. So when it comes to Breonna Joy Gray, yeah, I don't think she would marry a bus driver neither. Angela Rye, she wouldn't. Right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that, by the way. I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman that achieves a certain position in her life, earns a certain amount in her life, did certain things, went certain places, and wants certain experiences. I've never had an issue with women saying that, black women even specific saying that. My argument has always been, and it's consistently, deal with the consequences then. Stop complaining to black men because we're not who you want us to be. Go find the white man or go find another woman. That's always been that's my argument, right? Stop complaining to black men because you want a certain life or a certain experience. No. Go if there's not enough black men in that space or that occupy that space, then go sign a contract, do what you got to do with the LGBTQ brother or another woman, probably black woman, or the white man who you're going to give a discount to, probably because he has white skin, right? But I don't think that any of these women should be forced to date or marry a bus driver, especially, look, I attended Harvard, or I went to this law school, and I I want certain experiences, I want to go certain places, I want to see certain things, and I just want, like Ebony K. Williams, you got to give it to her. She said it. She wants whatever man she ends up with, she wants him to be the man in whatever space he occupies. So if it's the tech field, she wants somebody that when he walks in the room, he gives Mark Zuckerberg vibes. He gives Elon Musk vibes. He gives, Bill Gates vibes. Or when Steve Jobs was alive, Steve Jobs vibes. I get it. And if he's in entertainment, someone that gives Diddy vibes or Jay-Z vibes, I get it. Right? Talking about Ted Kennedy. If he's a politician, he walks in the room, he gives Ted Kennedy vibes. Right? I get it. But if you can't find that, then so be it. That's on you. How are you going to blame us for your preferences? For your standards. Those are your standards. Go find the white man to do it. Right? Or another woman. That's always my thing. So the bus driver thing, look, these women did not do all of that work so that they could end up with someone they think they're better than. Right? Like I said, they patriarchy by feminist specifications. Right? I want the wolf. I just want the wolf to be tamed enough to listen to me. Right? I want the Doberman. I just want the Doberman to be tamed enough to listen to me and be potty trained. Now, they could be aggressive to everyone else. They could bite everyone else off. I'm going to say bite everyone else off. Bite everyone else. But I need them to adhere to my rules. Once again, patriarchy by feminist specifications. Right? And that's what a lot of women are really on. They don't want to actually give up patriarchy because they still want you to be paid. However they try to phrase it or word it, shout out to FD Signifier. They still want you to pay all the bills, and they still want you to go downstairs if something can go bump in the night, and they still want you to open doors and pay for the restaurant and all of that. And particularly in the black community, they still want you to get off on getting them off. Right? Put their needs, including their sexual needs, above your own. They still want all of that. But they don't want you to have the final word. They don't want to adhere to none of the rules you're talking about. Right? And that's what it is. Patriarchy by feminist specifications. Yep. Yes, she did. And I said love. Low key darkness says Ebony K said her first marriage was a starter marriage. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And that says a lot. And she admitted she on Listen to Black Woman, she just said, yeah, it started married, and I'm the one who was paying the bills, and I'm the one who this, and I'm the one who that. Okay. That tells us exactly what we already thought. That's why I said patriarchy by feminist specifications. These women do all of this and they just refuse, and this is where me and BGS are going. They just refuse to accept that there's only a finite number of positions, there's only a finite number of CEOs, there's only a finite number, whether it's growing or shrinking, of there's going to be million or percent of people that occupy what we now see as the millionaire position or the billionaire position or the six-figure position. That changed throughout time, but there's only so many. And so when you as a woman or women start to occupy some of those positions, you're knocking off men from those positions. But then you turn around and only want to be with the men that occupy those positions. Problem is, those men do not have the same worldview as you, do not have the same view as you when it comes to dating women or marrying women who don't occupy the same financial position. Much to your chagrin. Now, do those men play class politics also? Yes. But even though there's a slight deviation between the men and the women in those class positions of who would marry someone that doesn't occupy that same income scale or that same class position, it's huge for those women. In other words, Chris Brown had a chick from a chick had a kid from some random Latina, right? Now, what about if he would have married her? That's one less black female entertainer that could end up with a Chris Brown. Whereas a female version of Chris Brown might have sex with the random whoever Latino dude, but is she gonna marry him though? Right? That's the difference. We just don't have the same when a black entertainer male ends up dating and then marrying and getting pregnant whatever random pretty chick, we don't tell him every 5 seconds how he messed up. But when a woman, on the other hand, a black woman walking through, and I don't even know how this would work logistically, but fine, entertainer, black woman, meets a brother from Home Depot, finds him attractive, they go out, they have sex, she falls in love, she marries him, we make sure to tell her how she messed up. Thank you. And like Indigo said, I say that all the time about the number of positions being finite, Z, and it always leads to the same conclusion. Congrats, you're a provider now, boo. And yeah, women can take it, black women specifically, and they continue to talk crap. No, it's because black men don't want to step up to go date out. I've said it before, let me say it again. I said it on the breakdown, let me say it again. Black women swear that when they date out, they're automatically going to date up. And if you're not going to give the white man a discount for skin color, you're going to run into the same wall that some of them Asian girls is running into, and definitely white women are running into. Y'all heard what Lois said on Shay Sade's channel? The men in her family, most of them married up. Right? Ain't nobody want to talk about that. You can't be special and equal simultaneously. Dear ladies, every time you take a position in the C-suite, every time you are in the corner office, every time you get a seat on the board, right? That's a man that could have occupied that space. That's potentially someone that would be your husband that could have occupied that space. And then you turn around and chastise the men for not being in that space where you just took it. Right? Then that's why y'all have an issue so much when George Clooney was out here doing his thing and now Leonardo DiCaprio is doing his thing. Right? Because y'all feel like he should end up with someone of his relative class. Unfortunately, men get to play this game longer and better than women do. You're bad. Right? And that's all that is. Right? That's my super ultra mega long-winded way of answering. Yeah, Brianna's real great. They ain't no goddamn bus driver. Definitely not gonna marry one. And most women, I wouldn't even ask women to do that. Right? Most women, they couldn't handle that type of power imbalance. Right? They couldn't. And last thing we're gonna say. Ebony K. Williams thinks she's slick. I was trying to remember this earlier, but I'm glad I remembered it now. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. God damn, this is two okay, yeah, we gotta end that after this. But so Ebony K. Williams spoke about the resentment from men when women have this position, right? That's what she brought up when she was speaking about her previous marriage, right? Is the look on her man's face when he would have to ask her for shoes and this and this and that, which is not the same thing she said when she was on Torre. Notice when she was speaking to Torre, she spoke about her own resentment at occupying and women's resentment at occupying these spaces above the men, right? But when she's in a room full of women, she's selling them what they want to hear about their resentment. I mean, excuse me, about the men's resentment. I'm sorry again, about the men's resentment of occupying these type of spaces, right? So that's the difference. Why are you speaking to the women about the resentment of the men when the women occupy these spaces? But when you were on Torre, you were way more honest and you said, no, 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 I'm the one who's insecure. I'm the one who's insecure about my position in comparison to the men. Ah, right? You're being disingenuous here, Miss Ebony K. Williams. And that's something that women in general, black women specifically, rarely want to talk about. At least Ebony K. Williams said it one time, and then she turned around and reversed it. They're not speaking about their own insecurities when they occupy these positions, especially in the black community. So let me get this right, black women. Y'all are saying that in the black community, it's more likely than in other communities for the women to be making more. Okay, fine. And you're saying that black men feel a certain way about it? Still, black women have no issue being the primary breadwinner. It's the men that have the issue. No, you sell that crap to other women, namely white women. See, we don't care when making more than the men. It's the men. The men are insecure. The men feel a certain way. No, ladies, stop it. Right? And on that note, everyone, we will pause right there. My apologies. I took up way more time than I thought I was going to take up. Yeah. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the thank you button for the replay squad, and we're definitely going to end out here. Yeah, everyone. I just wanted to kind of talk about a bunch of different things this morning. Yeah. I think I'm going to come back with something about what you sent me from The Hill, right? So I'm gonna review that. Like I said, it was in my history. It was something I wanted to watch anyway, but now I'm really gonna watch it. And on that note, I love, peace, and chicken grease. We'll pause right here. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of your night. And Mr. Z out. All right, y'all. Oh yeah, go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. I think the Raj Report is playing right now, or he's about to come on. Yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your night.